Hello and welcome to Dyson Sphere Program. This game recently just came out. I think it came out just last week. It's actually, I just saw it on Twitter. I didn't even know it existed last week. And then I think somebody I follow on Twitter liked one of their tweets or something. And then I checked it out and it looked pretty awesome. So think Factorio, Satisfactory type game, except, you know, instead of being on one planet and mining that planet out to buggery to build stuff, you're doing it to an entire solar system, an entire star cluster, in fact, in order to build a Dyson Sphere. Of all bloody things, a Dyson Sphere. Massive, absolutely huge structure that goes around a sun. Principally, you know, in theory, it's possible, but highly unlikely. But, you know, anyway, it's pretty damn cool. So we're going to check this game out today. It's available on Steam. It is early access, so it's still in development, and you know, there's a lot of the game still missing, and there's a great FAQ on their Steam page about sort of, you know, where they're going and what's possible at the moment and what's not. So there's no combat in the game yet, but they will be adding that at some point. At the moment, it's all down to production lines and resource gathering and kind of, you know, getting the whole logistics and stuff sorted, and then I think the combat stuff comes later, which is going to completely change how you play, because at the moment it's completely peaceful and you know, it's all just about building and stuff. So anyway, shall we stop yammering on and maybe get into some gameplay? Let's go with the new game. And this is the sort of, at the moment you just sort of get a random seed or whatever. You can just hit random and change. This is the sort of cluster that you go into. I'm not sure at this stage. I've only played it sort of 5 minutes or so I know what I'm getting myself into. And I don't know. You see, sometimes you get these little planets out here that are disconnected from everything. I don't know whether you can actually get to those. You know, it would kind of be a bit of a shame if you can't get to them, but at the same time, it's like, well, how? Because you've obviously got connectors between everything else, and these are sort of isolated off there. Anyway, so you can adjust the number of stars, reduce it down, the resource multiplier as well, how quick you want the game to go. I'm going to probably go to, I don't know, I'm going to stick to 1.5 just so it's slightly quicker for me. So I'm not just sat around waiting for stuff to happen, and I can actually show you some progression and stuff in this game. Okay, I think that was pretty cool. There's only maybe a few planets that are isolated. It seems fine. You got all the different types of stars, so, you know, black hole up to M-type star. This looks very familiar. And that's pretty much it. And then you got the cluster seed at the top. So far, I hope they kind of expand on this and maybe have some, maybe sort of handmade star clusters and stuff. I don't know, but let's give it a go, shall we? We go in our little ship. Move the camera around.
Welcome to the actual universe. You may find it's different from our homeland. Should you be able to adapt to the laws of physics in a short time, I am your advisor and will help you through this mission.
That's pretty cool. They got voice acting already, early access, and they've got a dude speaking to you already. This is a really good sign.
Everything here is yours. As one of Cosmo, and the pioneer of the Dyson Sphere Program, you will explore this cluster step by step. By using the resources here to construct the Dyson Sphere to provide energy for the center brain to maintain homeland, starting from scratch. I have chosen a designated planet for you to start the mission, which has necessary resources for initial development. Now please drive the space capsule to the planet.
So we got the Dyson Sphere is going to be generating energy for the center brain on the home world. So no idea where the center brain is. It sounds like a big kind of scary brain bug thing from Starship Troopers or something. I don't know. Probably some kind of AI thing. The guy speaking like maybe a robot or a dude in a mask. I don't know. But
now you are about to reach the designated planet.
Here we are. We'll find out what the center brain is, I guess, in the story thing. And again, that's something that's still in development and not in yet. So these planets are not to scale. So if you're triggered by scaling issues, this might not be the game for you. Yes, it's kind of like, do you remember that episode of Rick and Morty when they land on the really tiny little planet and they just walk around it in 2 minutes? It reminds me of that. There you go.
This is Icarus.
Icarus?
A lightweight industrial mecha with powerful functionality. You can use the arrow keys or right-click on the destination to control its movement. In this mission, you will manipulate Icarus to travel beyond the stars and create miracles.
Icarus is looking pretty dope. He looks like Bumblebee.
Now try to recycle the space capsule.
It's a Gundam.
Right-click on it to recycle.
So this is kind of like, I don't know, it looks almost a bit like Supreme Commander. You got your kind of ACU.
You can use the same operation
Icarus
to collect resources, such as trees, gravel, etc.
You're going to see a lot of familiarities from other games.
Shift and right-click to give a series of commands.
Oh, I like that. So you can go shift that bit of rock there,
after recycling the space capsule,
and then go get that
click
tree.
The inventory button in the lower right corner of the screen to open the cabin to view them.
So inventory is all your controls are down at the bottom right here. One thing you should be aware of, and it doesn't really tell you in the sort of spoken tutorial side of things, you get lots of different tutorials come up on the right hand side here and controls and whatnot. One of the things it doesn't tell you is this bar down the bottom. This is your core energy.
You can hold down mouse middle button drag to rotate the angle of view, or slide the mouse wheel to zoom in and out.
Yep. So your core energy will deplete as you do stuff, and then it will regenerate when you sit still not doing anything. And you can actually increase your core energy by putting stuff like, I don't know, logs, coal and whatnot into your mecha fuel chamber here, and you can see my core energy goes up much quicker when I'm stood still not doing anything. Now I didn't know this when I first saw it. I gave it a go for about 5 minutes or whatever, and I decided to walk around the planet and nearly run out of core energy.
Not unlock the construction menu, which will be done automatically when complete any technology research. Click the technology tree button at the bottom right of the screen to open the technology tree and activate a research.
So we got upgrades as well. So this is quite. This is going to expand, I suspect, quite significantly. I mean, you know, there's a lot there, and some of the costs of these things are quite high. So you're going to be upgrading. These are just upgrades, I think, to your mecha and what its abilities are. So you can get a drive engine, drone engines make the drones faster, and so on and so forth, inventory capacity. And then you've got technologies, and the technology tree is all about stuff that you can build and mine and whatnot. So the last one here is mission completed, which is 4,000 or whatever those things are. I didn't even know yet, but yeah, you've got loads of technologies at the moment, and again, they're going to be adding even more to this as it develops as well. So we need to start the Dyson Sphere Program. For some reason I can't click on that at the moment. So we got building, but we can't do any building yet until we've unlocked the Dyson Sphere Program. There's our inventory. You can see there that we've picked up some organic crystal and some iron ore and various bits and bobs, which are going to come in all useful. Generally, at the moment, I'm kind of more inclined to leave my inventory open at the top there because it is quite useful. But you can quickly get back to it just using E or clicking on this button down here. The same with the builds and mecha, they've all got sort of keyboard shortcuts that you can't at the moment. At the time of recording this, you can't rebind those, but they are going to be adding that in. So let's see. Okay, so Dyson Sphere Program, we can't click on that because actually that's not something to research. It's this one, the electromagnetism. So click on that, and then it requires 10 magnetic coils. Click activate. This tick box, use inventory items. I'm not sure why you'd ever. I guess maybe because you can actually do research in a research building later on. So we need magnetic coils, and if we go to our building components, we got magnetic coils here. It's very simple, and we need what, 10 of those. So click on the magnetic coil. I'm not sure at the moment the kind of layout of this thing is a bit confusing, but I guess they've done it by tier of components. So you've got tiers 1, 2 to 7, and they'll be sort of laid out that way. And then there's no, you can't actually type into this, which is really annoying. This is a stack size, and the maximum it goes to is 10. Okay, so if I produce, I'm not sure what this number means. Is that number of seconds, I think, maybe? How long it takes, maybe? I don't know. But it's actually, for some reason, going to produce 20. Okay, yeah, so it says times 2 here, doesn't it? Yeah. I'm catching up. So we're going to get 10. That's going to fill this up. And the research starts as soon as the first coil hits your inventory and it will start moving. So it will go as long as it's got resources in there. You don't actually have to have the maximum for it to start. It will just start anyway. So this is our power grid, and when that research is done, boom, we get access to a wind turbine, a Tesla tower, and a mining machine. Great, wonderful. If we click on building now, we've got these items we can build.
Mining machine to achieve ore collecting automation. Pick it up from the inventory, or select it on Gathering of Construction menu to build it.
There you go. There's our mining machine. It's also given us a wind turbine and the Tesla tower. Now, one thing when you first play this game, you're going to make a lot of bad decisions, I think. Just like in Factorio, just like in Satisfactory, when you're starting out, you've got barely anything. You feel like you've got all the space in the world. You do not. It will run out very, very quickly. So what we've got here is we've got iron deposits, we've got coal deposit over there, and we've got a stone deposit there. What we need to find, I want to find where the copper deposit is before I decide where I want to park everything. There's another coal deposit over there. Now the copper, last time I played this, wasn't too far away, but it wasn't exactly close. And then there's a couple of deposits over here. I think these are both stone. So there's 3 stone deposits right next to each other. That's interesting. What we got up there? That's another coal, another iron. Gotta find that copper. Where is it? Maybe around here somewhere. And the planets, as you can see, are not very big. And you can actually upgrade your mecha's sort of walking speed and stuff like that. At the moment, I'm depleting my energy reserves quite quickly. There's more iron. I am really struggling to find the copper here. As obviously this is a completely different world to the one that I tested before, so everything's in a different place. Okay, I think I found it. It's over there. So that's really annoying, actually, because you need to combine copper and iron later on for more of the complicated components, and obviously then the more they need to the further apart they are, then the more difficult it is to get conveyors and stuff in between. So that's fine. I mean, we got coal there as well. Stone up there, but yeah, all the iron is like over here. So yeah, okay, well, what we can do, we're not running low on energy, but we're definitely depleting it. We haven't got any coal. I don't think there's any difference at the moment between what resources you pop into the mecha, but you can get some trees easily enough. Just bear in mind that when you're gathering, it depletes your energy even faster, which is crazy sauce. And later on, I think when you got the research building, and you're actually getting that to do all the research and stuff, and you got machines doing all the building and stuff, you are just going to be sat around, stood still for a while, maybe, and that will help you recharge quicker. But let's put some logs in there, and that will bring our generator back up. So a bit of planning. Copper is here. What's that over there? That's stone. Stone vein, coal. Back over here it was our iron. So yeah, we got a tricky little setup here. There's the iron, miles away. So it's like the the iron and the copper in 2 separate hemispheres. Still, we're going to need iron first. So I think this little patch of green here is going to be where we start setting things up. First thing we need though is a miner, which we've actually got here, mining machine. So you can rotate
the R key to rotate the mining machine for covering more veins. The more veins covered, the faster the ores will be gathered.
There you go.
If you want to ignore grid snapping, try holding down the shift key. Shift.
So yeah, you can use shift. With the miners, generally I'll use shift because you can generally get a little bit more in there. Obviously the little circles, I don't know if you can see that from where I am. Let's maybe zoom in a little bit. There you go. That's, I use shift, I can get maybe that last one there. Beautiful. Bingo. There we go. Our little drone will go out and place that down. So it's already built in our inventory, so there's no sort of placing of stuff. So obviously I want to later on put more miners around here. I might put another one over here, for example, facing inwards and stuff. And it's not going to do anything because there's no power. What we can do is place down some wind turbines. Now, what I would like to do, and again, it's kind of be considerate of space and stuff here. Let's just think, where are we going to have conveyor belts running later? What is this? Are you coal? You are coal. Okay, we're definitely going to have conveyors running that way then. And stone up there. Space planning. We're going to start our little wind farm over up here then. Yeah, I think this will be good up here. Right. So we place our little first wind turbine here, and there we go. Now,
wind turbine.
That's miles away from where
she is. Not all power facilities has its power supply area. Use the Tesla Tower to extend the area of the power grid.
There you go. So place our Tesla Tower. I don't think that's going to reach. Yeah, it's just
done building the
we are going to need another one.
Facility, Tesla Tower. It can carry out short-distance wireless power transmission and expand the power supply area of the power grid. Click on it to view the current power grid information.
So there we go. We'll just build another Tesla Tower, and that should link together, and our miner starts mining away. If we click on this, it tells us how much power we're generating and how much we're consuming. At the moment, that one turbine is not generating enough power. So let's maybe craft another turbine, shall we? At the moment, we've got resources on our inventory which enables us to build these basic structures, but that is about to run out. We've only got one iron ingot left. These hydrogen fuel rods, well, they're useful for putting fuel into your mecha, but I'd leave them for emergency situations if I was you. So let's add another wind turbine. Now I'm going to build these into kind of like a grid so that they're nice and neat and tidy, and that should connect to that Tesla Tower there. Is that connected? That seems to have removed a line from the other one. Okay, that's 100. Yeah, we're doing 600 now. That's fine. So they are connected. There is a faint blue line between them, so they are. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, when that blue line moved from that Tesla Tower to that one, I thought, oh god, it's disconnected everything. Now you notice that my miner has already stopped working because it's full. And I just click on this here, and it moves the iron ore into my inventory, and it very, very quickly fills up again. Like that. There you go. It's got a stack size of 50, and that's it. Wow. Right. So we probably want miners dotted around on all the resource nodes, especially the copper one over there. The coal is going to be useful initially for, you know, powering the mecha. Until we get coal power, it's going to be kind of useless. So I will prioritize putting mining machines on the copper, which is bloody miles away. But while we walk over there, let's maybe look at our research tree. So basic assembly process, so we get a little assembler so we can start automating the production of things like the little cogs and whatnot. This unlocks the research matrix facility, so we can automate getting these things here, the electromagnetic matrices, but they use circuit boards and magnetic things, so there's little point getting that until you can automate the construction of stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to research is actually metallurgy, or getting the smelter, basically smelting stuff. So that's going to need some circuit boards and magnetic coils, which both require copper ingots. So let's go and get some copper, shall we? Here we are. Now the first thing, we don't necessarily need to build a mine right now, but what we can do is we can just right click on that and gather some copper ore for us, so we can manually produce it if we need to. I'm going to try and actually produce another miner. So let's see if we can produce that, because we actually now have a bunch of iron ore in us. It might require us to smelt some, of course, but there we go. We're going to produce 2 wind turbines, and we're going to probably need another couple of Tesla towers. So we've filled our production queue up for a while. Let's stop gathering the ore, sit still, and maybe put some fuel in our mecha. What have we got? Plant fuel, that'll do. This will help keep the core running for a little bit longer. So you can see, actually, even though we're building right now, our core power is going up. Lovely. And of course, now that we've got a bit of copper in our inventory, what we can do is line up the 10 coils that we need. What are they? The magnetic thingamajiggies. They're coils, yeah, I was right. And the 10 circuit boards that we need for, and they produce 2 each, so let's produce 5 of those. There we go. Line them up. And then obviously, as soon as that first circuit board hits the inventory there, the research will start. So I'll always put them at the end, because ultimately I'm building other stuff in between, so I don't want the research to take the resources of the other stuff. But I think that's now finished, so we can place our miner. Collides with other object. Needs to be a bit of a pain in the butt. There we go. Ooh, Right, this is an awkward little copper deposit, I think, from this side, maybe. I think that's... Oh, there we go, 246k. Can we get any more out of it? No, that is the best we can do. Okay, 246k is good. Bingo. Okay, so we got our copper miner there. Having a quick look around, other things that we might... Just trying to think, where can we put a big, nice grid of wind turbines? And I think just above it, to be honest, will do fine. There's too much conflict there. So we'll put a wind turbine there, put a wind turbine there, and I'll put a Tesla coil nice and close by, just there, and that should power them all up. Bingo. Now we're gathering copper ore. Lovely. And our research has started. And then we can start adding smelters to the line, but we don't actually have conveyors yet. That's going to wait until... There we go. That's filled up already. Hey, smelters. Love it. Let's get on with, then, basic logistics system, shall we? So that's going to use cogs and circuit boards. So let's just go ahead and build those. We're going to need 10 of those, please, sir. And circuit boards, 10 of those as well. Smashing. And then we'll get our conveyor belts. And as you can see, the music's really chill. The whole game is just really, really chill. I definitely see this being a complete and utter time sink. You will lose yourself into this game for many, many hours. So if you are looking for a nice, chill, relaxing escape, maybe the Dyson Sphere Program is what you're looking for. Like I said, it is available on Steam right now for actually a very reasonable price, because it is actually early access right now, and I'm quite excited about the development progress of this. I loved Satisfactory. Factorio is amazing, and this is basically the same thing, just on a interstellar scale. What's not to love, right? So because we completed the research, it's actually given us 3 smelters, so we can actually go ahead and place them down. Now, smelters obviously form the second link in a production line, so let's maybe go back to our iron deposits, which are that way. Hey, conveyor belts. If you ever get sort of lost or turned around,
and the conveyor belt, which can achieve full automation. Use the conveyor belt to transport the piled up ores from the mining machine, and the sorter can deliver the ores from the conveyor belt to the smelter for automatic smelting.
There you go. So yeah, if you ever get sort of turned around and not sure which way's which, there's a little global map thing down here, and it's all like zooms.
In the planet view mode, you can hold down the middle mouse button, drag, rotate the angle of view, and hold down the right mouse button, drag to roll the angle of view, press N key to point to the front to the North Pole.
There you go. So you can always
slide
use
the
that
mouse wheel to enter the
I think we've already achieved that. Anyway, press M in order to zoom back in again. And there we go. So you got the little blue dots on the minimap down there, so you can always find your way around where the hell you place things and stuff if you get turned around, like I do. Right, we've got some smelting to do, so we're going to place. I'm going to place a smelter like over here, because I want this to be in a kind of nice row. I don't think we need more than that. We just need the one. Okay.
You built a smelter.
I did.
Which can smelt basic materials, such as iron ingots and copper ingots automatically. While you want to make the raw materials and products get in and out of it autonomously, you need to use sorters and conveyor belts. When putting a conveyor belt, all you need to do is determine the starting point and the end point of it. In addition, use the up arrow key to lift up one level, and use the down arrow key to drop down one level after the conveyor belt is lifted. Press keypad 0 to reset the construction height of the conveyor belt to the ground. If you don't want the conveyor belt to be attached to the building, you can try holding down the shift key. The sorter is a transportation connector of cargoes between facilities. It will automatically transport them as long as the supply facility and the receiving facility are bridged.
So, it doesn't work in that you don't necessarily connect the conveyors directly to the facility, the building structure like you do in Satisfactory and stuff. So you have to run the conveyor past the building and then use this sorter that picks stuff up off the conveyor belt and chucks it into the smelter sort of thing here. You also need to set the smelter, just like in other games, to whatever component you want it to smelt. So we obviously want it to be using iron, and we're building a bunch of conveyor belts because we're going to need a lot of them.
After selecting the recipe, you can use the less than key to copy the recipe and the greater than key to paste the next building that needs to set the same recipe.
There we go. So yeah, I get this funny little angle too wide things. I don't know really what's going on too much, but you can run the conveyor belt directly out of the mining machine rather than using the sorter, and then the sorter to the smelter. And as you can see, the sorter sort of only really grabs one every sort of second or so. So you can actually get this thing lined up with many smelters, because you can do your whole maths thing. Does 66 per minute? 60 per minute, right? That produces 289. What was that? 240 per minute, I think. It's so quick because it's sort of stop-start at the moment. So we can actually get this maybe using a few more smelters. Line them up next to each other. Like that. And then a few more sorters. Like that. And we're going to need another Tesla tower. Not enough items. Build me some. What are we short on? We are out of iron, of all things. But that's fine, because we're right next to a smelter that's been producing ingots for us. Lovely. You need to use that as well. There we go. There is a copy recipe thing. I think the recipes get a little bit complicated later, and that would be useful. You can copy the recipe from one and then go to the other and paste it in. But yeah, I haven't needed that just yet. Double click on something here and it'll take you to that. So build me another couple of Tesla towers, please, sir. Thank you very much. And just go ahead and pop that on the same grid. Right there. So a nice little triangle of power going on. I could probably lay out these Tesla towers a little bit more efficiently if I thought about it a bit more, but at the moment, that's it. Oh, you need a recipe. There we go. So once we unlock the basic assembly line here, then we need to run those conveyor belts into a basic assembler and pick a recipe from that about what to create, and then run them from there into another one to create something else, and so on and so forth. And it's going to get very, very complicated very, very quickly. So I think sort of space planning is very, very important, even at this early stage. These things will fill up because they've got nowhere to go, so you have to keep taking them from there until they go into something else, and so on and so forth. And that is basically conveyors and stuff like that. Let's see. I'm going to carry on a little bit longer, maybe into sort of production, and see what kind of obstacles they come up with. So, I'll admit it's not pretty at the moment. I mean, you know, I've only just started playing this game, so getting my head around how to sort of conveyor everything together. It's like similar games, Satisfactory and Factorio, I'll say again, where you've got to kind of transport your resources from one corner of the map to the other of the map in the sort of best sort of way possible. I mean, for me, I've just created extra long conveyor belts here, and I probably could have done this in a much tidier way, except obviously it's organic growth. I mean, having these conveyors run together in a kind of bus would have been nice, instead of creating two kind of right angles around these things here. So obviously you've got to try and figure out, well, what kind of recipes you've got and what they need. Obviously the ones that combine iron and copper are a pain in the ass, because the copper's all the way over there and your iron's all the way over here. Hence these two conveyors running over here. We got, I actually didn't realize at the beginning, you got two recipes you can make from iron ore, the ingots themselves and magnets. So I had to split my manufacturing between ingots and magnets there, split them up. There's the magnet conveyor belt coming along here, and then I'm combining the copper and the ingots sort of halfway between the two in the middle there, and that's going into a sort of spaghetti junction kind of array of conveyors already, and there we go. That's kind of pretty much automated the really basic stuff anyway. So we've got circuit boards producing here, the electromagnetics producing here, storing locally, and then combining into this matrix lab here. Now the matrix lab is kind of like your research station, but it also produces these, what are they called, these electromagnetic matrices, which is one of the 5 basic source codes that keeps the center brain simulating. It is the foundation of all scientific and technological research. So, you know, we got a bit of an insight about what the center brain is doing. It's simulating. I'm not quite sure what it's simulating yet. I guess we'll find out more the more we play the game. Producing these means that we can actually research some more stuff, because if you look down at, say, fluid encapsulation requires 50 of these things, high efficiency plasma control, I mean, all this stuff, I have no idea what this means or what it does yet. I haven't got that far. But yeah, electromagnetic drives and stuff, unlock the basic power system component, electric motor, cool. Also requires 50. So, you know, we've now unlocked and started producing all the stuff that we need in order to continue into the next phase of this game, smelting irons and different resources, and just like all the other games, similar games like this, you just end up producing, unlocking more stuff to produce, and then having to make even more spaghetti junction conveyor belt systems like the one I've produced here. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much an introduction to Dyson Sphere Project. Now, the only thing I haven't been able to show you today, just because time limiting factor and stuff, is obviously the travel to other worlds. There are other planets in this system. We have a look at our solar system view here. And this is the big difference between this and other games similar to this, is that, yeah, okay, we start on one planet, but then we've got to go and get other resources from the other planets and continue expanding. And ultimately, we're going to be building a Dyson sphere around this sun. I assume it's this sun that we build it around. I don't actually know. But this is very, very early days in that mission. But I'm really enjoying it. Like I said at the beginning or earlier, it's really quite a relaxing, peaceful game. It'll be interesting later on to see how combat, when they introduce that into the game, affects that kind of feeling. Whether it will become more chaotic and frantic, trying to build all this stuff and also defend it against whatever's trying to attack you. I don't know. There are no creatures, there are nothing in the game that's a threat at the moment, and that just sort of leaves you to build stuff however you want to build, which is quite nice at the moment. However, I suspect the more I get into the game and the more I get used to its mechanics and kind of autopilot my way through a lot of the early stage like this, the more I will probably yearn for a bit of action and something to kind of worry about. We'll have to wait and see. So far, I'm really, really liking this game, as I do like games similar to it, where you're just sort of having this puzzle of logistics and stuff to build more and more things. Check it out on Steam. Like I said, it is early access, it is in development, and it's an exciting new addition to this kind of genre of games. And I love the style. I love the style of it. It's very different. I've got my own little Gundam. Brilliant. But there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Dyson Sphere Program. I'll link to the Steam page down below so you can check it out if you're interested. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this piqued your interest, provided somewhat entertainment to some degree maybe, or it was maybe even slightly useful. Again, thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye-bye.